If you are someone who is a self-proclaimed terrible sleeper, if you feel tired but wired, or if you feel like your hormones are off balance, you are going to want to listen to this episode. A lot of us have gone down the road of like, what can I take? What should I be eating? What should I not be eating? What should I be adding onto my plate? When in reality, the problem is more about the timing of it all, because there is this one system behind the scenes that's coordinating your hormones, your digestion, your metabolism, your mood, your energy, and your sleep, and that's your circadian rhythm. Hey guys, happy Wednesday. Welcome back to another episode of The Wellness Effect. Today, we are doing a bit of a circadian rhythm 101, and this is a topic that is so massive and so expansive, and we just wanted to give you guys a really great general understanding of it because it is so important and something that we see in practice with our clients. It's very often overlooked, and even with ourselves, it's something that's easy to be like, oh, it can't make that big of a difference. It can't be that big of a deal. But we just want to remind all of you and ourselves that it is super important. So, this episode is not just about sleep, it's about how your body knows what time it is and therefore what it should be doing. So, we're going to break down what it is, why it's foundational, and the three biggest drivers that keep it aligned in real life, which are light, food, and movement. So, yeah, we're going to talk all about circadian rhythm, how we can kind of input it into our lives a little more intentionally. And yeah, we've all been kind of on a circadian rhythm deep
I'm
dive of
excited.
obsession lately. So this is going to be a fun episode. You also might notice that Lacey and Jensen haven't said a word yet, and
They're going to continue that
they're
way.
going to continue that. No, we're just trying something a little different. We're going to kind of each tackle one topic per month and just see how that flows so that we can like really get into the like goodness of a topic. So I took on circadian rhythm this month. We have some upcoming episodes that Lacey and Jensen will just kind of like steer the ship on a little bit more, and the other two will try to act more as like a client or an audience
Collaborative.
perspective. Yeah, and like ask questions that you guys might have or think about during the podcast.
So
So
it's not that we're dumb and we don't know anything, you guys.
Yeah,
It's
we needed to
just
we need you
clarify.
to know I'm
I have to
not
put a
just
disclaimer.
yeah. Um, so yeah, let's just dive right in. So if you are someone who is a self-proclaimed terrible sleeper, hello, hi, it's me. If you feel tired but wired, which is a huge one that we hear talked about so much, or if you feel like your hormones are off balance, and that can look like skin issues, your cycle is off or painful, or you're struggling with things like PMDD, infertility, even thyroid issues, you are going to want to listen to this episode. So I've seen these things so often, and a lot of us have gone down the road of like, what can I take? What should I be eating? What should I not be eating? What should I be adding onto my plate? When in reality, the problem is more about the timing of it all, because there is this one system behind the scenes that's kind of coordinating your hormones, your digestion, your metabolism, your mood, your energy, and your sleep. And that system is your circadian rhythm. So, what the heck is circadian rhythm actually? And this is something that for some reason I thought was so cool because circadian literally means around the day. So, I just
Hmm,
love that. I like knowing. I know, isn't that cute?
I didn't know that.
I love knowing like little pieces like that. And the cool thing I think about it is every single cell in your body is running on a 24-hour clock. So I know we sort of just think about this as a sleep thing, right? And it's really easy to understand and conceptualize that our sleep is running on a clock because we sleep for 8 hours, we wake up at a specific time, we go to bed at a specific time. But the bigger picture here is it's so much more than sleep. And because it's not just your brain, it's your gut, it's your liver, your thyroid, your ovaries, your immune cells. So every single cell in your body is looking for information to tell it what time it is constantly all day long, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting to kind of think about just the difference between men and women, and the men being on like a 24-hour clock and the women being more cyclical with their hormones and stuff, if there's any difference between men and women. And we're not a men podcast, so don't be
Yeah.
afraid if you don't know the answer, Kira. But that's just like what I was
Well,
thinking.
women have like men only have a circadian rhythm, and then women have the infradian rhythm as well, which is
Right.
that like monthly or like 28, 29-day rhythm. Um, but I'm going to get into exactly how those two can kind of impact each other. So this episode of The Wellness Effect is brought to you by Lifestyle You. If you're listening to this podcast and thinking, okay, this sounds like me, whether it's low energy, hormone imbalances, stubborn symptoms, or you just feel like you've tried everything, Lifestyle U is our root cause coaching program designed to help you actually connect the dots.
We use functional nutrition, personalized support, and functional lab testing to figure out why your body is doing what it's doing, instead of just guessing or slapping a band aid on symptoms.
And because you're a listener of The Wellness Effect, when you use the code Wellness Effect, you'll receive a free functional lab when you join the program. If this episode is resonating with you, make sure to share it with a friend, subscribe to the podcast, and check out the show notes to learn more about Lifestyle U and how to apply.
So this system, these light signals, what light is information. It's telling your body, okay, what time of day it is. So that's going to tell us when to release hormones in what amount. So for example, we want cortisol highest in the morning. We want to wake up, we want to be able to go about our day, and then we want that cortisol dropping in the evening as melatonin starts to rise so we can fall asleep easily and sleep really well. It also tells us when digestion should be active. So this was one that really like put this point in my brain is like digestion is meant to be strongest during the day. Your gut during the day is digesting. When you're upright, when you're moving, when you're exposed to light, when you're metabolically active, this is when your body is going to produce more digestive enzymes, more stomach acid. Your gut motility is going to be increased. And then at night, when we're sleeping, your gut kind of turns into detox mode, and it's a totally different system of events that are happening. This is also telling your body when metabolism should speed up. We're designed to burn fuel more efficiently during daylight hours. Insulin sensitivity is even higher earlier in the day. So our cells are responding better to food, blood sugar staying more stable if we're eating in the morning and like earlier in the day and not later at night. It also tells your brain when it should be sharp, focused, engaged. That's when neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin are meant to be naturally higher so we can like be in the moment. And it also, like mentioned before, shifts your body into repair mode. So this is such an important piece because true repair of our body, our cells at like a mitochondrial level does not happen when we're awake, or at least it shouldn't. It happens when your body fully believes it's nighttime. So, this is when our tissues are going to regenerate, our inflammation calms down, our hormones kind of balance out, and the immune system really does a lot of its cleanup work. Our brain drains out at night when we're sleeping, which, if you think about it, like I don't want any toxins building up in my friggin' brain. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then our nervous system really downshifts. So, if your body never really fully gets a signal that it's nighttime because of light, late eating, late stimulation, it never really enters that repair mode. So that's
So
kind of like what
interesting.
it is. Yeah, it's crazy, hey?
Well, and I feel like also just once again, like bringing it into working with clients and just like talking with women that are struggling with certain things. And I'm sure you'll kind of like dive into just like shift work and even just when they are in like a kill phase for a gut protocol or even mineralizing. And it's the regular, like, oh, I feel like I'm doing everything right. But, and then you look at their sleep and even maybe they're getting 7 hours or they're going to bed at really irregular times. And that is such a big piece. Like you said, so many times we're like, well, it's just sleep. I'm still getting 7 hours,
Yeah.
but it's not just sleep. It's so much more.
Yeah, it's crazy. I love it. It's exciting.
Love it. It's
Um,
exciting.
so even to like pull a little bit more off of that, I'm just going to talk about why it's so important. Like I said, it's not just one health pillar. And this actually really ties back to that episode that I think it just dropped today, actually, the health net worth. It is like making deposits in just about every single bank account that we have. So everything from like cortisol timing, melatonin production, insulin sensitivity. Like if you're having issues with literally anything, like even right now, Jake has a little bit of eczema. Like I think it's eczema. I don't even like to say that word out loud. But I've just been like diving deep into how UVA rise and sunrise and having a good circadian rhythm in children is so important for their skin health, just like inflammation. So this is why, like Jensen said, if you can eat well, you can supplement perfectly, you can be working out, but you can still feel all those like shitty like symptoms that I don't have to list off because we know what they are.
I actually do have a question. Just you talking
Hmm.
about Jake, like
Hmm.
for like babies and children, is that circadian rhythm like different, or is it more important? Is it just like longer? Is there different like cortisol and melatonin? You know what I'm trying to ask?
Yeah, it's basically exactly the same. The cool thing about kids is, I mean, it's like a downside and an upside, but they are, number 1, way quicker to kind of, like, recover from circadian rhythm disruption. So, like, if you've never paid attention to your kid's circadian rhythm and you're just like, "Okay, I'm gonna start it now," they would start to show the benefits way sooner than an adult. But on the flip side of that, they're
Mm.
going to also experience struggles and symptoms quicker than an adult from, like, having a dysregulated circadian rhythm, and it's tricky with kids because it's like, I get up in the morning early to watch the sunrise. It's -20, like, am I gonna haul my newborn out there? Like, I probably should be. I haven't been, but yeah, it's kind of a
Oh
thing
my
with kids.
kids, red light
And
glasses.
Yeah.
yeah,
For
yeah,
Jake.
How
they're
small
so
red light
cute.
glasses can you get?
But well, it was even interesting what you told me about Christmas because I was, like, holding Jake in the living room, and I was all nervous because he was watching the hockey game, so I'm, like, trying to hold him away from the TV, and then Kira told me that is it the first 3 months?
Yeah, I think it's like 3 to 4.
3 to 4 months, the baby gets their melatonin from the mom and the breast milk. So it's, like, even more important for moms, new moms, to pay attention to their circadian rhythm because if you're all messed up, then your baby's not getting the melatonin it needs to sleep through the night, which
Mhm.
I just thought was so interesting.
Wow, yeah.
Well, and there's, like, this whole thing that goes around, like, I remember seeing it when I had Ellie and, like, seeing it again on Instagram, and it's like, "Your baby's has their days and nights mixed up, and they sleep all day, and they're awake all night," and I'm like, I just have this, like, thing in my brain that won't go away that's like, "Is your baby have their days and nights confused, or do you have your days and nights confused?" Because,
Yeah.
I need to make it a reel, but I just don't have the time. Okay, so I wanna talk about a few main drivers of our circadian rhythm because we all know the light one. You know, light is the primary signal that this rhythm is going to respond to. It's not just something you see. Like I said, it's really information for every single cell in your body. It's telling your brain it's morning, it's daytime, it's sleeping time. The morning light that we get is that on switch. So there are quite a few. I'm going to talk about, should I do sunrise and UVA rise maybe just to kind of dip our toes into it? Do you guys think?
Yeah. I find
Yeah.
that stuff really interesting.
Yeah, so I think like morning sun, this is something that we've all seen a lot of, especially like on Instagram. If you're kind of dipping your toes in like this health and wellness thing, you know about getting morning sun. So this is when sunrise is like the master reset. So your body officially switches from that nighttime to daytime, all the things that your physiology is doing at night and it's switching in the day. This happens at sunrise. So we see cortisol start to rise gradually. It actually teaches, if you think about how like cortisol should kind of mimic sunrise almost throughout the day, like it should really start to come up in the morning, slowly rise, and then, you know, have that high piece and then slowly, slowly, slowly go down. It also, that morning sunrise starts to suppress melatonin. If it can turn off cleanly, it's going to signal the end of that nighttime repair. And also, it's almost like I think it's 14 to 16 hours later, it kind of knows to turn back on. And we don't want that melatonin like lingering all day. We want it to be like, boom, the sun is up. I'm awake. That can be we can see a lot of grogginess if that melatonin's kinda like, "Do I shut off? Do I stay on? Like, what am I doing?"
Yeah.
It also activates the SCN, which I try to say all the time on this podcast, super chiasmatic nucleus.
Boom.
Nailed it.
Wow.
And that is the brain's master clock. So this is when it gets its strongest timestamp, and it's gonna synchronize with all the other clocks in the body. The gut, the liver, the thyroid, the ovaries, the adrenals, and this is how our body's like, okay, boom, it's daytime. You know, we also see dopamine and serotonin specifically primed by this morning sunrise. The mitochondria is activated, our digestive system wakes up. So, this is all amazing stuff, and daylight really can kind of reinforce this throughout the day. Does that sort of make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense, and I
Okay.
just think it's I always come back to that thing that I always say where it's like, we're not robots, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's just cool to hear that there
Yeah.
is this giant system that actually makes us humans work properly, and we can just help it out so much by just doing little things, but it just, like, blows my mind because it's everything that we never even have to think about, but there's just this invisible clock that our body runs off of. It's so
Yeah.
cool.
Okay, I actually do have a comment, and I've asked you this before, Kira, and I want to hear your thoughts on it now. And I think it'll be, I've even asked you it on the podcast, I think, but
I'm nervous.
I know, but don't be. It's not that intense. So I had a call with a girl, and she kind of, I don't know if you guys, I've mentioned like Andrew Huberman is like, get the
Mhm.
blue light in the morning. That's going to help with that cortisol awakening response. Whereas we're like, well, yes, you can get the blue light, but after we get that sunlight in and like later on
Mm,
in the day, ideally,
mhm.
right? So I'm on a call with this girl, and she said she was doing this like HRV program to like increase her HRV.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, interesting. Like, what has it entailed?" And one of the things she said was as soon as she wakes up, getting in front of like a screen, turning on all of her overhead lights. And I was like,
For
hmm.
fuck's sakes, like, that is the dumbest shit, I'm sorry.
I was just like,
I can't.
I just want to say maybe not.
You could tell her what I said.
but um But I do like that's and once
Mhm.
again, like, just going back to, like, Huberman and they say get
Yeah.
the and, like, I understand the mindset behind
Mhm.
it, but I just wanna touch on that and why we more so wanna go with, like, the natural rhythm rather than, like, forcing our body into it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and, like, light from the sun is in this, like, beautiful spectrum of all the colors of the rainbow, basically. It's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. There's, like
Roy G. Biv.
yeah. Why do I know that? I have a four-year-old daughter. Um, but
I was
on,
gonna
like,
say, holy shit. I did
do
not know that.
red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. There you go. You'll never forget it.
Roy
Ah,
G.
Slay.
Biv.
Haven't you heard the Snoop Dogg one? You should look up the Snoop Dogg. It's like Roy G. Biv. Roy G.
oh my god, keep singing.
No, I don't remember it. I just know he has a children's album. Did you guys know that?
No.
It's
No,
Haven't
amazing.
but
listened to
It's
that
fucking
one.
amazing. It's like, use your manners. It's cool to say please.
My god. Okay,
Okay,
keep
Snoop.
going.
sorry. So, natural light has all these different, like the full spectrum, right? And it starts as red in the morning and then gradually it doesn't, like, we don't see blue light until like an hour or so after sunrise. And
Yeah.
I'm going to kind of get into like all the things that UVA rise will trigger in our body. And I just also think, like, at some point, we have to step back and say, like, "Does this make sense?" And, like, I always picture, like, our ancestors, and if they lived in, like, a nice little hut with no lighting, the sun would beam in through their windows, and that would tell them to wake up. They'd probably, like, putz around, wake up their kids, maybe have something to eat, and then they'd probably head straight outside about an hour later at UVA rise to, like, start gathering or hunting for the day or whatever. And it's like, does it make any sense in your brain and your body? Maybe it does. And maybe for like a really intense, like science bro biohacking male to like
Male.
blast your light eyes with blue light. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know like the ins and outs of it from like a body perspective, but it just makes me laugh. So I'm just gonna say that's probably not for me.
Mhm.
Um, like I think sometimes too, just like using your own like natural intuition and being like, does that make
Yeah.
any sense at all? Like, we don't have screen this lighting is not so that's what I was getting at is the lighting from screens and most overhead lighting in our houses is straight blue light. So you're not getting the full spectrum of, like, the reds and the yellows and the
And the
orange
gentle, like, transition is just
progression.
going straight to blue when we're supposed to have that, like, red, and I find that so interesting that there's no blue light in the, like, atmosphere when it's just that sunlight and at
Yes,
sunrise.
and it's
And I
cool,
think the other thing with that, just like you said, the science bros, even just, like, the corporate people, like,
mhm.
they're thinking, like, you're much better off blasting blue light first thing in the morning than doing it right before bed. So I guess that's, like, a different perspective. If you have to be on a screen for a long period of time, you're probably better off doing that
And I also think
AM
it's
rather than
like
PM.
and we can talk about, like, integrating these habits as well, but I think people maybe assume that, like, you have to be outside, like, for an hour and you have to get it at the perfect time, but sometimes I'm driving Ellie to daycare and we roll the windows down at
Mhm.
sunrise or UVA
Yeah.
rise or whatever. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be consistent and intentional, and yeah. So,
Yeah.
I don't know, if you're working in an office all day, maybe that is something that you have to do. That's kind of sunrise, which is really cool. Like I said, we all kind of like know and love sunrise. And then there is about 30 to 90 minutes later, depending on like where you are, the season, the latitude. And I'll actually share with you guys the app that I like to use in a minute. We will see something called UVA rise. So this is when that UVA piece of the spectrum starts to come online. So if sunrise is like the on switch, then that UVA rise is really going to activate a lot. And for me, I think this is so friggin' cool. The main one I want to talk about, well, there's two. Well, there's a couple I want to really talk about, but the main one is something called pregnenolone. So this is a sex hormone. It is downstream to literally every other hormone. So if you ever look at what we call the hormone cascade, pregnenolone is right at the top and then it like trickles, it goes through its little like enzymatic reactions and becomes progesterone or it becomes cortisol or it becomes estrogen, like testosterone. Literally every single sex hormone needs this and that is when it is turned on is that UVA rise, which I did not know that until just recently, like doing some research for this podcast. I don't know if you guys knew that, but it just blew my mind.
Okay,
Cool.
reassure me. UVA rise is when? The very first sun
No.
rise,
So
an hour later.
30 to 90 minutes. So actually, we can talk about that app now. So I use an app called My Circadian. It's free. It's, I think Sarah Kleiner Wellness created it. It's incredible. So you put in your location and it tells you there's like daylight, which is when the sun just starts to peak over, like it's the tip of it is just the tip is coming out. And then there's sunrise, which is when the whole sun has now come out and it's there. So that's that sunrise point. You want to kind of aim for like within 30 minutes of the sunrise window. So today that was 8 a.m. for me. And then around 9:40 was UVA rise here. So it'll show you UVA rise as well. And then in the summertime, like right now, there is no UVB where we are, but you're going to have that UVB window certain times of the year that is going to allow you to produce vitamin D as well. So that's like another piece that I
So, and these all windows still apply even if like today it's super cloudy, there's no sun, right?
yes,
Yeah.
great question, Lacey. Yes,
Thank
they do.
you.
They definitely do because they're rays, right? Like they're coming through clouds, they're coming through rain, they're coming through snow, they're coming through whatever. Even if I've read, I haven't like done a deep dive on this, but even if you have your window open and the sun isn't like directly on you, they're like, because light isn't like it moves, right? It bends. So it's coming into your house and flooding your house if your windows are open, even if you're not like looking directly at it, if that makes sense.
Well, something I found really interesting because on my balcony, like the sun doesn't directly hit it in the summer. In the winter, it does, but in the summer, it doesn't. And one time, Sarah was saying, because we had a client that lived in New York, and when she like goes outside, she's like surrounded by high rises. So there's no sun hitting where she is.
Yeah.
And because it's like rays, once again, they don't just move in a straight line. You're still getting that even if you're in the shade, which I found really
Yeah. Yeah, it's not
interesting.
linear. That's the smart word way to say it.
Yeah.
I just remembered.
Oh, and so
It's
really
not
all I'd
linear.
have to do is like open a window in my office.
Yeah, and you're gonna get benefits. Ideally, you're like sky gazing towards the sun
Yeah.
and you can see it. That's
Not like
perfect.
sitting in front of my massive computer with my light on and
But
like
Yeah.
but you know what? That's going to balance out because they're again, our computers don't have any blue light. So if you can add in a little bit of red light or any more of the spectrum while you're on a blue light all day, even if you're at your desk at a computer and you shine red light, like even on your abdomen or if you have a sore shoulder or just straight at your face, it's going to kind of more mimic the natural
Oh,
sunlight.
interesting.
Isn't that cool?
very nice.
Right? So far, so good. Okay, so another one it's also impacting is our thyroid hormone efficiency. So that UVA rise is going to improve blood flow to the liver and the kidneys, which we all know, how important 75% of that T4 conversion happens in our liver. So we really want that online. It's really going to support that conversion from the T4 into the active T3. And it also just enhances the tissue of the thyroid. It kind of like turns it on, like, hey, wake up. Our thyroid, is so responsible for energy production. And that's when it really gets that signal. It also resets our leptin and insulin sensitivity, which I mean, Jensen, I know you're going to love this one.
I know.
So, this is
Excited.
telling our body, like, are we burning glucose? Are we storing fat? Are we hungry? Are we full? Like, that's kind of what we're getting at that point. So this is going to support stable energy. We're going to see fewer cravings. We're going to digest our food better. We're going to manage our blood sugar better overall if we have that UVA rise. And again, UVA rise is everywhere all year long, every day. UVB is just something a little bit different, which that's more like the vitamin D piece. So
Wait,
Just
one
a
vitamin D.
thing.
quick recap because
Mhm.
I keep forgetting and I need to like create a system in my head. UVA is the very first peak and then UVB, so it's like AB or opposite.
Sunrise, UVA rise, UVB rise.
Okay, so
UVB set, UVA set, sunset. So it's sun, A, B.
okay,
And then,
that helps. So sunrise and sunset are their own thing.
yeah,
Okay.
And
yeah.
what about the peak? Like when what's that one? Did you say that one's called? Like when it just comes, just the tip,
I
as you
think
would say?
I think it's just called like daybreak or dawn. I can't
Okay.
remember, but it's not like a super important piece. It's just kind of like when I start to see that light, I'm like, okay, I'm probably going to have to get outside for my morning sunlight in the next like
Yep.
half hour, hour.
The other thing I just wanted to quickly say when Kira's saying the leptin and insulin, like leptin and ghrelin, people will like this. That's like your hunger and your fullness cues. And so you can imagine if you're getting those like proper signals, leptin is like the fullness cue hormone, and then ghrelin is that hunger signal hormone, and they work together. And so if you're someone that like never goes outside, or you had a really poor sleep and your circadian rhythm is off, that's the reason why you feel like you can feel like you're, and like I always say, bottomless pit on those days when you don't get enough
Yeah.
sleep.
And the way I remember that is because ghrelin and your
Grr.
stomach is gurgling, is
Same.
hungry.
Hungry. It's so hot in my office today. I'm like beet red. I'm just so sweaty and hot. Okay, so then just to chat a little bit about sunset, because again, this is an important one that for me personally, it's the easiest to overlook. Like once I get sunrise and I get UV A rise, I'm just like, whatever, I'm making supper. I kind of miss sunset, especially in the winter. So this is for myself just as much as it is for you guys. So at sunset, melatonin hasn't like fully kind of like come online yet, but this is when our body does start preparing it. So all these darkness cues are telling your body night is coming, like start winding down. And this is going to actually make your melatonin release stronger earlier in the night and more effective. So when we miss those cues of the sunset, we can release it too late, release it like not strong enough, or suppress it altogether. And they've done studies where actually like one look at your phone with blue light can suppress your melatonin back down to zero, and then it has to like restart the process all over again. So when we like talk about this, I think it's so much more serious than people realize. Like Brett will have his phone on and be like looking at something and like show Ellie like a song. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, don't. I've worked all day to get their circadian rhythms dialed in. And Brett's like, oh, want to watch a YouTube video? I'm like, no, absolutely not. So this is also where cortisol is going to be like, okay, it's my turn to kind of start declining and moving in towards that downward curve. So when we don't see that clear sunset signal, or if we're just like, more importantly, like turning our lights down, having that dimmer light in our house at the evening, because it can cause our cortisol to stay elevated. We can feel that wired. It's literally like if your body is exhausted, but your brain is wired, that is like number one, your circadian rhythm is out of balance. Your body and your brain should be tired at the same time.
And
It
that's such a
also,
big one for the shift workers. Like,
mhm.
and that's what I always hear them say is like, I'm so exhausted, but I just cannot go to bed. And I'm like, well, I know exactly why.
I know, it's so tough. Shift workers, like, God love them. It's
So
like,
I
we need
know.
them, but I don't know.
I have a question about the sunset
Mhm.
because I always try to get it and I'm just like not quite at the place where I want to wear my orange glasses to the gym at 5 o'clock. It's funny because I
Why?
actually feel
You're the
like I'm
girl with the red glasses.
more in my head because of my content that I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't start showing up to public places with them on because they're gonna be like, wow, she's really committed to the bit. Um,
Honestly, though, I
Oh,
wear
I'm
them to
almost there. I am
Okay, good.
almost there.
Okay,
I'm
good.
just, like, not quite there because we go at 5 o'clock, but it's dark here,
Yeah.
and so I get in my I'm wondering, is there no point in seeing the sunrise or the sunset if you're gonna be looking at blue light after you do it?
It's not, all or nothing. So it does
Okay.
help. Like, I always think about this because I get stressed out. I'll be putting laundry away with my blue light glasses on, and I'll bend over, and our closet has, like, a automatic light that comes on, and it's not a circadian friendly light, and then that blue light is obviously coming back and, like, I can see. So any little difference helps, like, putting your phone on that red thing, putting your blue light blocking glasses on as much as you can, but, like, it's not gonna completely set you back to, like, 0 for the day, like, I mean, I made it sound like
No,
that with the
but that's
kids
good
before.
because I was, like, slightly using that as an excuse for a while of, like, "Well, I don't need to
Oh,
bother
fuck it.
trying to see the sunset because I'm gonna go to the gym," and then, um, yeah, so that makes sense. You know what's really been hard since I've been obsessed with this? Coloring. My, like,
Yes, I
coloring
know.
book, I'm
Yeah.
like, my flowers are gray and brown, and then the stems are like I'm like, "Zach, what color is
Yeah.
this?" He's like, "I can't see anything in here." It's
We
just
got
so funny.
we got Ellie Candyland for Christmas, and the orange and the yellow, like, literally none of us can tell. We're, like, taking off our blue light blockers and putting it under the light, like, I'm like, "I can't tell what color this is, like, at all." It's so funny. Like, "Whatever, you get to pick whichever one's further away, you get to move to that spot."
So funny.
Um, okay, so yeah, this also those sunset wavelengths, so we see the red and the infrared again at sunset. Also, cool tip, free red and infrared therapy is literally watching sunrise and sunset. So, I just love that. I just love knowing that because those red
Mhm.
light panels are expensive, but they're awesome. And this is a little bit about what they do. So when we see that at nighttime, it kind of pushes us into that parasympathetic state. It's going to calm our nervous system. It's going to lower that alertness, reduce sensory input. And it's moving us more into like the rest and digest. We can like actually integrate what happened during that day. We can start to kind of restore things. And if the nervous system never gets this cue, then like the body is just like half on, half off all night long. We also see things like brain activity slow down, metabolism starts to downshift, or and this is for a good reason, right? Like we hear, "Oh my god, my metabolism downshifts." Like I want my metabolism going, but the reason it slows down is because our body needs to make space and energy for other things like immune and repair pathways. This is why when we're sick, it's even more important to get that circadian rhythm dialed in. So that's kind of all I'm going to talk about when it comes to the different sort of pieces.
Yeah, and you'll go
Okay.
into habits, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do wanna touch a little bit on the 2 other drivers of circadian rhythm because I think for kids especially, like, this is one that I really focus on with Ellie, and it's food. So, food is also, like a time signal to our body. So, our digestive system, our liver, pancreas, our metabolism, they all have clocks, and while the sun communicates to these clocks, like, "It's daytime, be active," our food is also kind of giving those signals as well. So if you're eating heavy meals late at night, your body's getting mixed messages like, are we in rest mode here? Are we in work mode? Like, what is happening? And you don't need to eat perfectly. You don't need like, really rigid meal timing, but just aligning most of your food intake with daylight hours is just a really simple way to kind of reinforce. It's almost just like timesing by two all of these great circadian rhythm hacks that you're doing. We're going to see blood sugar be more stable, our hormone signaling is stronger, our sleep is deeper, our energy is better. And what I love about this piece is with kids, especially like sometimes Ellie, we kind of just like leave her to wake up whenever she wakes up. And now it's winter. Like I said, we're not always going out to watch the sunrise together. Like I'm really showing her that I do it every day, but it's just she's not always up for it. Sometimes she'll go snuggle me while I do it. But you can have your first meal of the day also kind of start that clock as well. So it's really, really important. We always talk about breakfast like as close to waking up as you can. But for kids, it can really kind of set that clock for the day, which I just think is so cool because it's really easy to be like, oh, well, I can't get them out in the sun. Like, screw it. But you
Mhm.
are actually kind of like triggering that. And for yourself too, which is so cool.
Yeah, it's interesting because 'cause you'd think what would the intermittent fasting bros, like, take be on this? Because I mean, we know it's not great for women to fast, and especially in the morning, right? Like, it's like if
Yeah.
you're gonna fast, almost do circadian rhythm fasts of, like,
Yeah.
eating when it's light out, but
100%.
I wonder if there's I wonder if it's less of a thing. I mean, if you're really dialed in with your light, it doesn't probably
There are,
doesn't.
like, light experts that are like, if you have a perfectly dialed in circadian rhythm and you eat in that window, you will never struggle with your weight or basically anything. So it's like I guess
Yeah.
it depends on your reason for fasting too.
Yeah,
Like,
and
are
I'm
you
almost thinking again back to our ancestors. Well, they probably didn't
Mhm.
have food every single morning. So,
Well, they probably had, like, something left over from the night before, like, a little snack, and then while they were, like, foraging, they had
Chicken.
chicken, nice roast chicken,
Chicken for breakfast, like Kira likes.
and then I guess
soup.
it's would light kind of come first? Like it would be
Yeah.
better to see the sunrise than eat your breakfast, right? If optimal world
In a
living in.
perfect world, you are eating breakfast outside as the sun is rising. That's, like,
Oh.
top tier.
In the
Okay.
pissing rain.
Yeah, when it's -30. Oh my god, we didn't even get into vitamin D.
Can you do, like, a quick blurb, like vitamin
Yeah.
D?
So, like I kinda mentioned before, that, like, UVB piece is, like so, for example, I'm in Saskatchewan, we don't get the UVB window for another 30 days. That's where our body makes and produces vitamin D. The vitamin D receptor, this is something that seriously, this blows my mind. So they started calling this one receptor site in the body the vitamin D receptor, and what that means is, like, vitamin D goes to that place in the body and tells it to do all these different jobs. So it's, like, very anti-inflammatory. It's just, like, doing all these different little pieces.
Immune, yeah.
Immune regular yeah, like, it's vitamin D is amazing. We all know, like, we need vitamin D. Everyone that comes and works with us, like, the one thing they'll be supplementing with is vitamin D, and it's like, okay. So, this is so fascinating. They've recently discovered that, yes, vitamin D binds to that receptor site in the body, but guess what else binds to that receptor site in the body and does all those jobs?
Melatonin.
Melatonin. You got it.
Boom.
So, in the
Ding, ding,
wintertime,
ding.
it's like it's not by accident that you get a gold star. It's not like some weird accident that our bodies just stop making vitamin D in the winter time. We are able to store it all summer. That's why it's so important to just, like, get these moments of the day in. And again, we're gonna talk all about, like, how to integrate these kind of at the end. But you can store vitamin D. You can store it if you, like, have a good tan at the end of the summer, you should be carrying some of that vitamin D through the winter. It also means we need more melatonin in the winter. We need to be sleeping more. We need to be embracing these darker nights where our cortisol dips earlier than in the summer because we don't need that vitamin D. We have the melatonin and then vice versa in the summer, which I just think is so fucking cool.
And I swear, and I'm not, like, perfect with my circadian rhythm, I'm not
Yeah.
like Kira in the YouTube videos, but but I've definitely worked on it a lot this winter, and I swear, like and maybe a little bit's, like, placebo and just, like, me leaning into, like, a slower routine, but I swear I feel the best I've felt, and usually by February, like, middle of January, honestly, after Christmas is when I'm just like, I am depressed and feel like crap, and I have not hit that yet.
Which is amazing, and it's like a 30-day I bet you'll download the app and, like, see how many days the app actually tells you, like, it says 39 days till vitamin D. I'm
I
like,
know I need
"Oh
to
my
download that
god."
after this.
Yeah,
Like,
what was the app? I started downloading it and setting it
it's
up,
called
like
My Circadian.
okay, yeah, that is the one that I got.
It's so cool. And, yeah, I remember, like, I was pregnant with Jake, it was August when or September when we lost vitamin D, so, like, there's been no vitamin D created in my body September, October, November, December, January, February, it'll be March. So yeah, I just think that's so, so, so cool. So we don't always need to be supplementing with vitamin D. Like maybe get your melatonin levels tested in the winter and they're probably going to be higher than they are in the summer. So that's just a little fun.
No, I love that. When I heard that, I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh my god, that makes so much more
Yeah.
sense."
Okay. And then movement is also a little bit of a driver, an information input that your body kind of says, we're awake, we're active, it's daytime. So morning or like midday movement does kind of reinforce this rhythm. But really, like late night, if you're doing your workout like after, sorry, Lacey, after dinner, well, I guess you're doing it. Just try to do it. Is there any way you guys could move it to like when the sun is up? Do you think?
No, but I've been contemplating becoming a morning gym girly for months now, and I just wanna do it because 'cause we're even busier with work now that it's just, like, it's hard to get there in time. So I
It'll be
do.
easier to do it in the summer too.
Yeah, Well, and in the summer, it's like you have 5 extra hours of friggin' daytime, so I don't have to wear my orange glasses to the gym,
Yeah,
but I just
exactly. Clocks change in a month,
but it
so
is better and more optimal to work out in the morning, and I'm, like, not having these crazy intense workouts where I feel like I need to, like, eat 3 meals before I go to the gym.
Yeah.
So maybe this is just my little kick in the butt
push.
because also I only go to the gym, like, 4 days a week probably right now, so it's, like, 2 days during I like going on the weekends when I have, like, more time and I can go, like, right after I eat breakfast. That is my favorite time to go, but in the morning, I'd have to go at, like, 6 a.m., and I'm just not quite there yet, but sound like a bunch of excuses if you ask me.
Well, and something Sarah said to me that I found interesting is like there's these UVB, UVA receptors on our body. And so one of the
Mhm.
things you can do is like wear this sounds so kooky to me, but wearing like long sleeves and like long
Yeah,
pants.
wearing, like, a full sweatsuit to the gym and
Yeah.
my orange glasses.
Well, that meant that to me,
I
that would
love
be
it.
like what kind of like, okay, I have my full sweatsuit on. I'm making up for like the
Yeah.
orange glasses. 'Cause I'm the same, I'm like, I try to wear my orange glasses to the grocery store, and I just the looks I get, I'm like, I cannot do
I
this.
Okay,
usually
that's
Everyone's
wear
so
like
I'll
funny.
wear mine in the grocery store. It's just the gym because there's people there that I know who I am, and
Yeah,
just,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
just can't be that person.
Okay,
I
and
just
that's funny because I wear mine to judo. It's, like, the only late night, like, it's from 6 till 7, and I was just thinking about it. It's, like, Ashley and Braylee and, like, Mark and Marina who go, and they're, like, clients of ours or friends of ours, like, they're not
they
they
get
know
it.
they're like, "Oh, hey, Kira," like, no one even said anything when I wore them. I was like, "Are you guys gonna,
Well, I
like,
wanna get, like I saw
ask
someone at
me?"
a coffee shop wearing, like, cool yellow ones,
Mhm.
and because those are kinda in, like, the yellow glasses right
Yeah,
now, and I was like, "Okay, I need to get some of those so that, like,
like a
it's not."
steel aviator vibe.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
looked so I was like, "Wow,
yeah.
you look cool, and you don't look like a nerd."
Do you
Like,
know can I tell you about circadian rhythm? You wanna
must be
talk to me
nice. Do you
about
know you're
circadian
doing that? He for sure did.
yeah.
He was
Wow,
doing
it's a guy.
something. Yeah,
Yeah, so really when light, food, and movement are mistimed or just like consistently not even paid attention to, we're going to see trouble falling asleep or staying asleep. And I think for me, this was like the biggest needle that moved. Like, I have been, when I tell you guys, a shitty sleeper since I was like fucking born, maybe. I don't know. I've just always struggled. I've tossed and turned. I thought it was anxiety. I thought it was like, I don't even know, all these different things that I thought it was. And for me to somehow now just like out of nowhere, not out of nowhere, but since I've been practicing this, I get in bed, I fall asleep typically within like 15 to 20 minutes. I get good REM sleep, good deep sleep, and unless Jake wakes up, I will like sleep through the night. And that has literally never ever been the case in my entire life. So it's like, oh, okay. That's
I
like a
know.
big
And that's why those rings are so great. Like,
I
now you
know.
can see when you don't do it. Like, if I work out late at night, like, I can see my deep sleep is like 30 minutes
yeah.
less.
Yeah, yeah. So starting to like look at what kind of can
Impacts
impact
there are.
it. Yeah. But yeah, just this I'm just going through like a reminder of some symptoms. So afternoon crashes, anxiety, again that wired but tired energy, anything related to your hormones. That's sex hormones, so that's PMS, irregular cycles, even like down to endometriosis and things like that. Really intense cravings at, like, weird times of the day, like, if you're starving right before you go to bed and you're eating a normal amount of food, like, that's not normal. That's, like, something's off there with your clocks. If your digestion is sluggish, so if you're constipated, if you just struggle with absorption, all of these things, they can kinda point to it. So, we're gonna get into implementing this because I know it's a lot of information. So, I wonder if, like, the 3 of us should just kinda riff off what we
Yeah.
do
You can just
specifically
kinda share,
or
and even when you said that, that's a sign how you can tell if your circadian rhythm is good is if you do poop right when you wake up. I remember I
mhm,
learned that.
Without coffee.
Yeah,
without
without
coffee,
like,
yeah.
you should just be waking up because that's something to do with, like, the cortisol and everything, like, I'm like, "Oh, never mind."
Your poop should wake you
I
up.
was gonna Zach poops sometimes, like, right before we go to bed, and I'm like, "You're so fucked up. Get your shit together."
Get it
Literally.
together.
Literally, like, oh, he
No, when
drives
Um,
people
me
poop before bed, I'm like, "That is crazy."
I'm like, "That's actually crazy." No, I blame every one of Zach's problems on his circadian rhythm, and he
yeah,
still just won't listen
just
to me
won't
on it.
budge. Okay, I do wanna just give, like, a quick outline, like, this is a lot of information. You don't have to optimize every perfect little thing, but really just getting even if you never download that app that we talked about and you just, like, try to get outside at whatever time it is that works for you during the day, like, every couple hours, just go stand outside for 5 minutes, like, that makes a difference. Of course, if you
Mhm.
can nail all those pieces, that's the best, but it's going to make a difference just, like, getting those rays into your eyeballs a couple times a day, eating most of your food earlier in the day, moving your body earlier in the day, dimming that environment down at nighttime, just really sinking into, like Jensen said, your nervous system will feel it if your house is kind of a little more circadian friendly. I've seen people just use candles, like, dangerous for children, but cheap. Maybe you invest in some blue light blockers. I love the ones from Bon Charge, and then I do also love the circadian friendly lighting. I'm just, like, not ready to shut off all my lights and, like, we have kids, we have to give them a bath, we have to, like, get them to bed. So I did invest in the circadian friendly light bulbs because I want to have lights on. I don't know, maybe when I'm, like, old one day, I'll just, like, go to bed at 5 o'clock. But I also, like, travel with a red light. So we just went to the cabin for the weekend. I brought 2 red lights, put 1 in each of our bedrooms, just literally squirreled
Screwed.
screwed
Swirled.
screwed out the bulb and put the red bulb in. So those are some really
And
easy pieces, and then we can kind of expand on what we each do.
I posted in the client community, we'll make sure to post it in the show notes. I found, like, good Amazon that block out, like, 450 to 500
Nice.
nm of blue light, so it's, like, a good starting point if you're not quite ready to, like, invest in more expensive ones, and I think they're,
Yeah.
like, 45 bucks, so
Nice.
we'll post
Perfect.
those.
Yeah, because I think even too, I don't it's obviously not a placebo, but it's like you can it's almost like now when I put on my orange glasses, it's like I've done it for so long and so many years and my body knows. It's like that's the signal, like, "Okay, it's nighttime now, Lacey," and it's
Yeah.
just like instantly I can feel the shift. So, you definitely
Oh, that's
notice it. And
cool.
I just think the blue light blocking glasses, even if they are 40 to 100 bucks, like that's the it's so worth it
So
to just get
easy.
it because it's so easy. I mean, it is annoying if you're trying to color with also all red lights on in your house, but it's just so easy. Like, how could you not? I don't know.
And something Kira once described with, like, the red bulbs, like, I once again, the Bon Charge ones and the Healthy Home Circadian Friendly ones, a little bit of an investment for sure. You don't need to switch out all of them, just, like, switch out all of them, just the ones that you can, like, use in your lamps, or the ones that, like, need to be on so you can, like, function after dark in the
Yeah.
winter, but I just one time Kira described it as, like, it feels like a hug to your nervous system. I'm like, "That's so true." Like, when the lights are down and I've I'm this is the craziest thing I've ever said because I actually feel this way.
Whoa.
I'm actually kind of, like, not excited for it to be light out dark because I've just, like, loved my, like,
Mhm.
little circadian friendly nighttime routine where it's, like, dark and I have the amber lights or the red lights on. It's so comforting, and so you have to just, like, lean into it and, like, want it, and if you're like, "Oh my god, the red light, oh, then you're
Yeah.
gonna hate it, but if you're just
Yeah.
like, "Wow, this is so nice and relaxing," you're gonna like it.
Yeah.
Matt.
Zach with
He's
his
actually
freaking
Matt's
shop
Brett.
light.
coming around slowly.
Yeah,
I'm going to
slowly.
visit him next week, and I'm bringing my bulbs, and I know he's just gonna be like, "Fuck."
And I was also gonna say I found light bulbs, like no blue light on Amazon as well that are much cheaper than the healthy home ones.
Ooh.
So you can look on there for
And
like
they
it
do have, I think it's called Huga. Huga, sorry,
And
yeah.
they
for
have
the
different, like,
yeah, like
settings?
3 settings. I wanna get one and, like, test it because I have, like, a lux meter on my phone that tells, so I'm gonna do that and then
Yeah,
make
and then
sure they're
post it in
legit.
school too.
Or you can just
Mhm.
get the straight up red bulbs like I do and
Yeah,
just
Yeah, like
that's
Lacey did in her
hardcore.
whole
be in a
house.
lab.
I, like, FaceTimed her the other day, she's doing her makeup, it's, like, dark outside, just red in her bathroom, I'm like, "How?"
That's scary because then you get into your car and it's like, "Oh my
Oh,
god,
yeah,
I did
I
not
know. I
blend
was gonna
any of
make a
this."
reel of me like gaslighting myself into
Yeah.
thinking my makeup looks good, but
Man, you
man,
should
in
you
red light, I look great.
yeah.
Anyways, okay,
Yeah.
so some applicable things. One thing that I do because I don't even have well, I have the app now, so I'm gonna start trying a little bit harder with the timing of things, but it just goes back to, man, like if you walk for 10 minutes after each meal, you're gonna cover your bases.
Yeah.
If you eat
Mhm.
breakfast, go for a 10-minute walk, eat lunch, go for a 10-minute walk, eat dinner, go for a 10-minute walk, which is what I do every single day. So I'm like, I'm probably doing better than I think I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I think that's just like an easy way to kind of think about it without overthinking it. And then you're getting like 5 stones at once.
Mhm.
Your
Yeah.
steps, the light, your
Yeah.
digestion, your blood sugar, like it's just a
So
win-win. So I think
easy.
that's an easy thing to integrate for sure.
I like
Yeah.
the idea of rolling the windows down in your car, even if it's
Mhm.
just for like a couple minutes. I find that's like a really easy one. You get like fresh air, and then because it can't, certain rays can't go through like windows. I know Kira, you've said
Yes.
that.
Our windows unfortunately block like all the good stuff and let in all the blue light, which is so annoying.
Nice.
So, yeah.
If I ever build my dream home, I'll make
Ugh,
sure that's not the case.
I know. I was like,
hopefully.
Um,
ooh, business idea,
Yeah.
yeah.
circadian friendly windows.
Well, like back in the day when they first started making windows, they were all circadian friendly and now they spray them with like a coating so that the sun doesn't damage like furniture and like, like light and things.
Right.
So now we get none. Like it's just another thing that we had to like make better and more convenient for ourselves, but it's just like trashing our bodies.
Yeah.
Killing us
So that's an
slowly.
easy one. Windows open
Hmm.
at home and in your car.
Yeah. And then
Not going on your phone first thing and before bed.
staying off your phone. I do my blue light blocking glasses in the morning until I've seen the sunrise and then after sunset at night as well. So both ends you can kind of use them. What else?
And just like staying off your phone early, I feel like, as
Just like
much as you
get the
can.
brick and stay off your phone.
Yeah. Not eating too close to bed, obviously,
Yeah.
is going to be another one. Come on, guys, there's more.
What the heck's happening?
I think honestly that's the gist of it. And something
Yeah.
that I mentioned on this a couple episodes ago was just being with Kira over Christmas and just it doesn't have to be long. Like if you can get outside for 1 minute, that is still going to be huge, if especially if it's in that window. So I just think not overcomplicating it and not letting yourself overcomplicate it. Like it doesn't even have to be a 10-minute walk after meal. Like sometimes when I don't have time, I'll just walk like 3 minutes down my street and then 3 minutes back if I don't have 10 minutes to do the full loop. So
Yeah.
it's just like when we say anything, make it easy so that you'll actually do it. And then as that becomes easy and you don't have to think about it, then you can take it up a notch. But don't try to be perfect because you'll just burn yourself out in the beginning and then you'll get nowhere. So
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
and
you
just
also can switch your phone to the, sorry, Kara, to the
yeah,
red on. So we'll post the link with the
for how to do
instructions to
that.
do that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great
do you
idea.
guys do that manually every day or is there a way to do it so it's scheduled to come on at a certain time?
I triple click it.
Oh, I
You have
need
to set up
that.
the
Automation.
what's it called?
Okay, I need that because it
Yeah.
was too hard for me. I used it for like 4 weeks, and then every time I had to go in there and do it, I just never did it anymore, but if it just
Yeah.
was a triple click.
No, this
Yeah.
is much easier.
Yeah.
And the cool thing too about this, you guys, is with the red light, like, you actually can't see any color, like I've been saying, and so it just makes even going on your phone less
Really
fun.
unenjoyable.
Coloring, less fun.
Watching
Puzzle
TV, less fun.
Less fun.
puzzles, hard.
Super hard.
Reading,
That was the
still
other
good.
thing.
Reading, yeah. Meditating, lovely.
Mm-hmm.
I
I do a
know.
lot
That
of
was the other thing. It's the puzzles. I
The
had
puzzles, I
to
know you're like, what color is
I
this?
couldn't.
So funny.
I know. I'm gonna add those back in the summer
But maybe
because I'm like,
we'll
we got one.
yeah, we
Just
can
not gonna
finally
over
do. But again, you're meant to be really resting and relaxing and tuning back into that like that part of life in the winter anyway. So, but yeah, maybe we'll post. We have a really great circadian rhythm guide that's kind of intense and in depth. So we can post the link to that in the show notes too. And I feel like that's good. That's it.
Yeah, and let us know what you thought of this style of episode. We're gonna try out a couple more, but always love the feedback.
Yeah, so thank you guys so much for listening. And please, if you have the time, if you like this episode, give us a review. It helps us like so, so much. We love hearing from you guys like in our DMs and like our friends that are texting us. But if you're a friend that's texting us, please also leave us a review on Spotify or Apple Music or whatever. That would be great. And have a good day.
Download. Please
Download,
download them.
share, um, follow us on YouTube. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye. It will help your circadian rhythm if you do those things.
Yeah.
Bye.
During the day. Only
Yeah,
during the day, do it.
only at noon outside. Okay, bye. Thanks for tuning in to The Wellness Effect. We're so grateful to be part of your wellness journey. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and follow us on Instagram. We'll put all of our handles in the show notes. If you have questions or ideas, slide into our DMs or send us an email. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep creating your own wellness effect.